Hi, Jeff Hicks with Realwired here. Welcome to another Indispensable Appraisers podcast. Today we're talking about AI as it relates to the valuation profession. So there's a ton of hype on AI. You read about it, hear about it daily. Podcasts, blogs, papers, social media. It's just daily. It's kind of exhausting, isn't it? But it's exciting. So what I'd like to talk about today is a valuation AI matrix. I want to see where your attitude with AI as it relates to our valuation profession. So on this matrix, on the left column, you've got growth mindset, low and high. On the top, you've got curiosity mindset, low and high. So let's go down the bottom left quadrant. If you have a low growth mindset and a low curiosity, you might be viewing AI as it's really not relevant, right? So it's not relevant to the valuation industry. That's just your attitude towards it. So if we're going to give this quadrant a name, low growth, low curiosity, you don't think AI just has a place for evaluation art. What might we call this quadrant? I see this as like a little kid going la 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 la. I don't want to hear it. So I'm going to call this la 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 land. Right? You really just hope it goes away. On the bottom right quadrant, you've got a low growth mindset, but a high curiosity. I think a lot of appraisers fit in this bucket, and I'm going to describe this as you don't understand AI as it relates. How's it going to help your appraisal firm, or if you're a chief appraiser, how does it help your appraisal department, right? And the C-suite's going to want to know as well. So if I was going to name this quadrant of low growth, but you're really curious, you want to know, how can AI help me? I'm going to call this tell me more land. Not a bad place to be. Let's move up to the top right. This is a high growth mindset, but low curiosity. I'm going to call this quadrant the shoulds. The shoulds are really just, I think, making you feel guilty. You know AI has a place for your firm or department, and you've researched it, you read about it, maybe you storyboard it, you whiteboard it, you do some initiatives, you've got some projects, but really, it's really not going to get any action behind it because you have a low curiosity. So it's more of a guilty kind of quadrant. So we're going to call this Hopa Hopa land. That you hope magically the AI will somehow find its way into your firm and department and good things will happen. Let's take the top right quadrant. This is a high curiosity mindset and a high growth mindset. This area, this is called opportunity. In this quadrant, you see AI as a tool, as something that can help you and your firm and your department really be more productive, more efficient, more accurate, basically serve your client better. So if we were to name this quadrant, what might we call this? I'm going to call this relevancy land. So appraisers talk about, are we relevant as professionals? Well, I can answer that maybe in reverse. If you're in the bottom left blue quadrant, the not relevant la la land, your value goes way down if that's your attitude. The other boxes, it's kind of a mixed bag, but if you're in the bottom left of you really have a low growth mindset, a low curiosity, you just like cranking the appraisals the way you've always done it, you like cranking out reviews the same way, you're not looking to do it any better, faster, listening to your customers, providing tools for your staff, that really is a drag on relevancy. And what's interesting, there was a recent survey of US and Canadian companies about AI as it relates to business. And what's interesting in the quadrants, 34% of businesses, not valuation, but businesses in general, thought that AI was not relevant to their industry. And on the bottom right quadrant, 20% of the surveyed industries found that they just didn't understand it, but they know it's going to do something to their industry. And on the top right, the opportunity, that was the highest number. 43% of companies in North America that were surveyed, 43% saw that there was opportunities. So when it comes to AI, there's lots of tools, and this podcast today, we're not talking about the tools. I really want to focus in on what quadrant do you find yourself falling into. And this is a judgment-free podcast. This is really to illustrate where you might find yourself, right? The goal is, obviously, without the shoulds, is to move to the upper right. That's the place I think we need to be as individual professionals and our industry in general. I think that's where we need to go, especially for more of an entrepreneurial attitude, which I think our industry desperately needs. But when it comes to AI, it's just a tool. And I think our biggest hurdle isn't finding the right tool to do whatever you want. It's our attitude towards it. Are we seeking it out? Are we curious? And we're going to give it high energy and growth to go get it, to go find it. And if we don't understand it in the bottom right, then we can go out and seek that knowledge from various people in the field. But right today, you can even use writing tools today with AI like Grammarly. A lot of people know about that. You can do AI tools within Excel and Word. You can do formulas, just tell Excel what you want it to do. There's all sorts of other AI tools, Perplexity, Copilot, Copy.ai, Jasper, HubSpot CRM, Clear, Crisps, Optimizely, X.ai. There's tons, but that's not the point. The point is, do you want to seek it out and find people that can help you get to that upper right quadrant? So today, even with ChatGPT, you can do it today. With 3.5, 4.0 is a little smarter. It costs you $20 a month. And 4.0, for example, if you're wanting to create, let's say, a description of your subject property. Let's say you're a commercial appraiser. You can upload in ChatGPT 4 your interior and exterior photos of your subject property and ask Chat, act like a commercial real estate appraiser, provide me, 8 to 10 paragraphs of the subject property, describe it based on these pictures. You might be surprised. Other things you can do today would be in Chat, take your transmittal letter, the subject, maybe take your subject description, maybe a chunk out of your highest and best use or reconciliation, something that describes, take out all the boilerplate, but something specific to the subject and maybe the valuation chart, and ask Chat a bunch of questions. You can start with SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You might be amazed that it's pretty good. You can ask also, based on that data that you input into Chat, copy paste, you can also ask it, act like a commercial real estate appraiser, reviewer, and review this appraisal, and is it USPAP compliant? The results are a mixed bag, but you'd be surprised what you can get out of that. So you can also go to, let's say you want to consolidate data, right? You go to muni.com and you take a zoning description that's very, very long, copy paste it into Chat, say summarize this zoning description and give me 3 paragraphs and give me a chart as well. You can also describe your analysis of, you do the heavy lifting of the valuation within your adjustment grid or your pro forma. You put in your comps, you do your adjustments, you put all the brain power to conclude to your adjusted values. You do the same thing for your pro forma, put in a market rent, vacancy expenses. Copy paste those Excel charts into Chat, just dump it. Again, act like a commercial real estate appraiser and give me 8 to 10 paragraphs describing in great detail the adjustments of this improved adjustment chart and the pro forma. Just describe it for me. And you might be surprised at the content and the accuracy of how it writes for you. But regardless, the point and what I'm trying to get across isn't necessarily AI is good or bad, or you have to use it today or tomorrow. It's really, what is your attitude? Looking at this valuation AI matrix, what quadrant do you fall into? Are you on the bottom left where you're just totally ignoring it, and if it comes up, you just next, next, next. Are you on the bottom right where, I think a lot of people are in this bottom right quadrant, which is, I'm really curious about it. I know it can help me, can help my team be more productive, do lots of things actually. But that quadrant is, I just don't understand it, tell me more. The top left quadrant, that's not a great place to be. You're giving it kind of lip service, you're reading a lot about it, you're thinking about it, maybe you spend some money on it, but you're really not executing on a plan. There really is no quarterly game plan where you're really going to implement this, or a roadmap of how AI can affect your firm or your appraisal department if you're a chief appraiser. On the top right, you have a high curiosity mindset and a high growth mindset, and you see AI as it relates to our valuation space as an opportunity to keep us relevant. And that's the point of this podcast. Indispensable Appraisers. It's hard to be indispensable if you're in the bottom left quadrant, because if you're not learning about AI, how you do anything is how you do everything. Let me say that again. How you do anything is how you do everything. So when it comes to new knowledge, new ways of doing things, it comes up in so many different topics. How do you work with your employees, especially in a remote situation? Do you understand to learn how to have excellent culture? Do you know how to, and what tools to give your people to be productive? Do you care? Do you want to move forward and be the very best appraisal firm owner, or if you're working for somebody else, the best reviewer, the best chief appraiser? And I think it comes down to curiosity and then the action, which is the growth, right? I think you need both to really hit a home run. Well, that's the pod. Hope you've enjoyed Indispensable Appraisers. Thank you. Have a great day.